sure I don't got no interruptions.
All right, 89.9 UFM. I'm here with my good brother. As you know, this is Brother Soul for real, but I'm here with my good brother. Brother Lawrence V. White is in the building. What a guan, brethren?
Not much, man. Not much at all. Hey, good people.
Yes, sir. He is back. A guest always to the show, about third or fourth visit.
Yes.
You're here in our new studio now.
Yeah, it's lovely in here.
Yeah, man, I like it. Down here in the Weaver area. Yeah, man, they did it up real nice. I value it. So yeah, man, you're here. What you been up to, man? You the music man. What have you been up to?
Oh man, trying to keep up with the times, man. 2020 was wild. I mean, a lot of people had to adapt, so it opened up some opportunities to really sit down and make a lot of good music. So honestly, this year, I'm looking forward to probably putting out at least about, I'm gonna say 2 and a possible projects. Started out this year already with a single, and probably going to be releasing a few others, but yeah, going to be probably releasing hopefully 3. That's the hope.
3 projects?
3 projects this year.
Wow, man. And now, you know, do you think like within this pandemic now, it gives you an opportunity for more people to listen to your music because everyone's online now?
Everybody's online. All musicians are home. So, it's, people who you wanted to collab with, who you probably would have had obstacles because of schedules.
Yeah.
Now everybody's home.
Wow. So that's the advantage and the benefit as a musician, because I know a lot of musicians, did get impacted by COVID because they perform live a lot. And, because of that, they've had to transition to the online platform more frequently.
Definitely.
Do you find that to be an advantage or a disadvantage? Is this something we're going to continue on after things get back to normalcy?
I know I could probably speak on behalf of musicians around the world. I'm hoping that we can get back to some type of normalcy where we're actually in theaters and arenas. I don't think it's going to get back to 100%, just because of the capacity and things like that. But yeah, the money for musicians and just performers in general is on a stage. Like, radio and streaming and things like that, there's really not a lot of money there. A lot of people being impacted. I feel bad for musicians that didn't have like a steady income.
Yeah.
Like another
I do
stream.
too.
Yeah.
I feel really bad for anybody, and not to step away from music because that's what we're talking about tonight, but this COVID thing has done a number on a lot of those in the field of entertainment, the arts, etc.
Yes.
So we got to bring arts back to life.
Yes.
And that's why you're here tonight, because you have recreated some art. But before we go into your new art, tell our 89.9 QFM artists who you are and what you do. I'm so used to knowing you, I just start a conversation. But for our new listeners or anyone who hasn't heard of you before, give us a brief bio of who you are, how people can find your work, etc.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm really just, kid grew up in Waterbury. I've transitioned from Waterbury to Middletown, and now living in the Hartford area out in Windsor. And all throughout life, really been around music. I really owe it to my family, like my father, my parents, and my aunt. Really kept me in front of a turntable or some type of music with some headphones on. And throughout that, I grew up in a church. So really in the church background, small church. My grandfather was a pastor, family-oriented church. And a lot of us played music. So it was myself on drums or organ or bass or something, while I had cousins and brothers who did the same thing. And really that kind of helped me become like a multi-instrumentalist.
You know what I noticed? When I always see musicians, I have a lot of friends who are musicians. And growing up in the church, you get to play these various instruments. Now, a question I have for you in that environment, was it a choice to play different instruments, or you just evolved into those other ones? Like, you gonna learn the drums this week now?
Honestly, that is, it could be on both sides. I think in my experience, the drums honestly became my first instrument just because my grandmother was playing. And as a kid,
played the drums?
She was playing the drums.
Wow.
She was the first lady and playing drums. My aunt, she was playing keys. She was playing organ and singing. So one day, I think I was kind of making fun of my grandmother playing because she wasn't doing it right, quote unquote right. So she was like, "Okay, if you're gonna say that, come on over and play." So she challenged me. Yeah, she challenged me to play, and from there, that started at like 5, and then from there it was like learning keys and evolved to like trumpet. And really, like as my siblings got older, my cousins and my brothers, they picked up instruments as well. So it's kind of like, you would kind of push over to let them, learn and just figure out something else just to make it fuller.
Now, in your learning experience, you are also now a teacher.
Yes.
In the areas of music.
Yep.
What instruments do you teach, and how can people get in touch with you if they wanted their kid, or even me, an old man? Like, how long would it take? I now ask this question. Secondly, how long would it take for my old behind to learn how to play the piano? But anyway, how can young people or people who are interested in learning instruments get in touch with you, and how does that all work?
I teach all ages, so honestly, you can start as early as, and then honestly, for the instrument that I usually teach the most is bass. So usually, I think I've started as early as maybe around about 8 years old, when you can physically hold the bass and feel comfortable with it. And out all the way up. I think my oldest student was probably in his 50s. Yeah. So honestly, and skill time is really how much time you want to devote to it. We'll have our time designated. Then what you do at home is going to really going to dictate how long it takes for you to learn it. But yeah, if you ever want to get in contact with me, I'm on all social media. It's Lawrence V, like Victor White, or you can go to lawrencevwhite.com as well.
Okay, so you got a website, everything, y'all. Y'all can check them out, and that's V dot. Or just Lawrence V.
Lawrence V, yep.
Lawrence no v dot.
White. No dot. Yep.
All right, so Lawrence V. White, y'all, just like that.
Yes.
Look him up. All right, so you teach, you play the instruments. Now you also make music.
Yes.
How many projects have you completed thus far up till now?
From my own, I'm probably on about, let's see, I think I'm on about 9 songs right now so far. That's off of my own. I think completed with other people, like collaborations.
Yeah.
I'm past 50.
Yep.
So past about 50 projects altogether.
Just so you got some new tracks here tonight for us.
Yep.
Now you have recreated, and I like what you do, because when you do covers, you add a different flavor, a different vibe. It's the same song, but it's a whole new song.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I try to bring my own perspective. I mean, if you wanted to listen to the real version, you would. Yeah. But if you want, number one, we're in a radio station. Some of these other radio stations, you might not hear as much variety as you hear here.
I hate that.
Come on.
Don't get me started.
You can tune in at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock is the same song.
Payola. Look that up, y'all, if y'all know what that means. Payola.
For real. So, definitely this brings a different perspective. I usually like to involve a lot of instrumentalists as well. So it's it's all our own ideas, it's our own feel to something that was already good.
So and tonight, speaking of covers, you have remade "I Feel It Coming" by The Weeknd.
Yes,
and you have a young lady on there, Sonia Morant. So walk us through why this song and why this young lady to create this magical song you've created.
Definitely. So this song is actually part of a collaboration, or actually a compilation that I did, and we played some songs from it last year or the year before. It might have been Run for Cover Part 1. So on that one, it was mostly like some of the older R&B. I had Michael Jackson, Anita Baker, Shaka Khan. Those are the first 3 songs I did. So this is going to be part of the second portion, and it's going to be more newer songs. So this one was, I think this came out in around 2016, somewhere around there. And The Weeknd, if you read about him, especially some of the earlier part of The Weeknd before he started getting the controversy and all that stuff.
Was he from Connecticut?
Canada.
Did he go to school in Connecticut? I saw him at a talent show at CSCU or something. An old picture or something like that. A talent show.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Look that up, y'all.
I wouldn't doubt it. I'm gonna have to do that. But yeah, he he was really dedicated into having this like Michael Jackson vibe. He wanted to be the new Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
So this song, and Daft Punk is actually one of my favorite artists as well. If you listen to, I think, what was it called? Random Access Memories. That's Daft Punk's like latest project. That's one of my favorite. You know, when everybody has that album or song you go to when you get a new pair of headphones, you get your car, you get a new stereo system, you put that on. Daft Punk Random Access Memories. That's my go-to.
Nice. And I just got one more question before we get directly into the song. As you play a variety of instruments, and instruments are very important in song, with all the new technology that's coming out today, do you feel like the music industry is being saturated with electronic sounds as opposed to, you know, authentic manual sounds of people playing instruments?
I think it's just now coming back in a weird way. Like mostly, like if you look at, and we discussed some of the artists earlier, like Her and Snow Allegra, like people like that. They're starting to at least bring in string instruments, bass, guitar. Her can play everything.
Yeah,
you know, so she's good. But yeah, I think we're starting to move back. At a point, we were just straight electric. We're talking MPCs, you know, samples and stuff like that.
And I don't know what that means, y'all. So I'm assuming it's something high tech in the studio.
Yes. So you have beat makers just, you know, punching beats or stealing music. You know, a lot of sampling. Sampling.
Big
a lot of old hip hop. You know, weren't using the real instruments, but they were getting it from bebop era and stuff like that. So I think we're just now starting to get back to where you're starting to hear real musicians playing and producing songs.
And that's why I love your tracks, because even if you took a song that was produced through some type of electronic device, you recreate it with real instruments.
Absolutely.
And that's what makes it sound so pure and people gravitate to it.
Yep.
I know I do. So talk us through this song, and we're going to jump right into it.
Cool. Yeah, so this is I Feel It Coming. You know, it starts off, you'll hear a gradual speed increase, which is intentional. One of the things about Daft Punk, some of their stuff is all dance, is they're dance musicians. So a lot of times their music can be somewhat slower. So what we did is we did the song as it was recorded, and then we kind of sped it up to kind of bring it almost to like a dance disco type feel.
So that is, and the young lady on the track.
Yeah.
What about her?
Super talented artist. She grew up right here in Hartford, Sonia Morant. If you look her up, she has social media everywhere under Sonia Morant. Father is a great musician. Just left my mind. I'm going to come back to her father in a couple seconds.
I think, did she sing background for like popular artists?
She sang background. Well, she sang a lot of backs here for artists who have done stuff as well.
Okay.
Alika Hope. Her father's name is Ray Morant. He's been around forever. I'm trying to think of who else she's worked with. Another guy named Ivan Santiago.
Okay.
So yeah, she's been around. She's really, really young, probably around about 25.
Okay.
She just recently moved from here to Costa Rica.
Got it.
She's of Spanish and Jamaican heritage, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So she's very super talented. I can't say more about her. I mean, she's a very unique person. Has a lot of different ways. She could be a DJ. She could be a dancer. She can high dive.
All the arts.
Oh,
man. That's what I'm talking about, man. We love those sisters out there with diversity, man.
For real.
All right? So y'all can learn a thing or two. But, hey, we're going to get into this song right here. Again, this is Lawrence V. White's version of I Feel It Coming, right? Featuring Sonia Morant right here on 89.9 Cute FM.
Cute FM. We're taking you into the night. All about Grace. It's all about us. Cute FM.
All right, 89.9 Cute FM. Brother Lawrence V. White in the building.
Yes, sir.
Just dropped off that track, that hot track right there. I Feel It Coming. So anytime you hear your music, how proud of you of what you've created?
Man, it makes me feel so happy. I mean, just to have outlets like this, I mean, I appreciate 89.9 and people like DJs like yourself who, you know, appreciate good music and giving me this platform to be able to come on. It's nice to hear it coming through like loud and being able to feel it.
Yeah. All right. So, the young lady, she has a nice raspy voice.
Yes.
I like that. It's real whispery and smooth. Is that what how do you pick your singers?
Yeah, honestly, because I knew this was gonna be a more modern song, I
Yeah.
wanted to have like a voice of like the youth. If you know, like any of the female singers, like Alessia Cara, that's really who she sounds like.
Mm.
I remember when we started recording this, I had posted a video on Instagram. One of my friends who's in the industry producing people like Chris Brown and Trey Songz, he saw her and automatically was like, "Yo, who is that?" And that's her voice. Her voice has that texture and that sound. So it's like
Once cadence,
yeah,
unique.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I love music, and anything that get me to do a two-step, I'm out there. Now, towards the end, we heard it speed up.
Yep.
What inspired you to switch it up that way?
Yeah, I wanted to have more of that dance vibe, like a disco, bring it back to like, back into the 80s. It was like a little bit more house almost. And that's going to kind of lead to, some of the future projects. But yeah, I wanted to have a little bit more like a house feel, something you could dance to, two-step.
And your next project, this is going to be on there, right?
Yes, sir.
And how many tracks are you planning to have on your next project? And what will that next project be called?
Yeah, so it's a total of about 9 tracks. And it's Run for Cover. It's going to be the full, complete package of songs. I already put out 3, so that's available on all streaming platforms. But then it's going to be part 2. So I'm going to have the original 3. It's about 5 to 6 more.
Yeah, man. So you've been doing this thing for many years.
Yeah.
What is the next phase of your musical journey? All that you're doing, these projects, what is your hopes or intentions in these next, 5 or so years?
It's definitely the next phase is hopefully places like Netflix, places like Amazon Prime,
Yes, sir.
Hulu, getting on some of these series,
Like live performances or just
mostly just getting them in the shows.
getting them in?
All these shows that people are watching, that music that
People pick it up.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, you thinking big, man. We need Connecticut folks to get into stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Get our names out there. So I'm sending many blessings your way that
Appreciate it, man.
happens. Ashe.
Thank
All
you.
right. So yeah, man. So now this next track, I see is short. It's a minute and 14 seconds.
Yep.
So it's called Touchdown.
Yes, sir.
So what's this one all about?
So this is fresh. This is literally like 5 hours ago. What time is it?
You recorded this today or wrapped it up today?
Today. Yep.
Wow. So fresh off the press.
Yes.
Right here for us.
Yep.
All right. So Touchdown. Now, what is this song about?
So this is a little snippet of an album that's going to be coming out. So this is going to be more in the summer. It's probably going to be one of the first projects that I release this year. It's going to be about 5 songs. All of them are up tempo.
Yeah.
So all of them are going to be around BPM around about 120. And people don't know what BPM means.
Yeah.
Beats per minute.
Yes, sir.
So,
120 is my lane.
Yeah, so anywhere between 120, 140, somewhere around there. And the project's going to be called Sunday at about 130 BPM.
Yeah. Man, this song now, Touchdown.
Yeah.
So what is this song essentially about?
So when you think about touchdown, it's really about taking vacation. So touchdown on the airport. So, you're coming back from vacation.
I need a touchdown.
Tell me about it, brother. Tell me about it. Like this, and honestly, that's going to be the vibe of the record. It's really going to be summer vibes, tropical. When you think about what happens on Sundays, maybe if you do church in the morning, what happens after church? You go to the beach. You go, on a drive. You go to brunch. Things like that.
You know what, Lawrence? You make music for grown folks who are in real relationships, not situationships. We think we together, we messed around a few times and think we together. No, you make stuff for folks who go home, they sit at the table, they watch TV together, they talk about their day, they in love, they take care of their kids. You make music for that crowd and everybody else too, but I just want you to know, this is real grown folk music that you make. So that touchdown right there hit me. This song, Touchdown, again. So I like the theme. It's all about, getting away, touching down somewhere else, getting out of your environment, that escapism.
Yes.
So you're saying that's what this song creates.
Yep.
We want to play it right here. And when will this project be released, you think?
I'm hoping May, June.
May, June.
Yep.
Okay.
So, and I'm thinking I'm going to have a single right before that, just leading up to it. But yeah, about May, June, the project could be out.
Okay. I shaded that. All right. So let's now get into the second song for tonight. by Mr. Lawrence V. White. This one is called Touchdown.
This is fresh, like, this is fresh, like, not big.
Splash, about to do the dash. Got a little cash, so I gotta move fast. Shorty got a vibe that attracts like mine's do that. Girl, you know I love that. Oh, you hit the top, but we about to up that. They gon' be like, what's that? Fly diamonds on the fingers.
I'm about to pull that up. Hold up. Hold up.
Shorty really down. Gotta get a crown. Everybody bow down. How you like me now?
Hold up.
Star child outs, IG shout outs on the island wall now. Y'all know what we bout. Y'all know how we do this. Exclusive, be exclusive. Smoothly moves, but exclusively cruising. I life inducing, like it's time doing. And swagger mind scientifically proven. Shining.
Brother, I'm going to have to play this again, you know.
Yo, do it, man.
I'm going to have to play this again. Here we go. Let's go. I got to play that again. I did not see that coming. Man, that hit different right there.
Yo.
I love upbeat music, man.
That's what this project is going to be about.
I love me some upbeat music. Now, who was the brother rapping on this?
So that's Hartford native Tang Sauce. So
Tang Sauce.
Tang Sauce is the man.
I've heard that name.
Yeah, I met him through a mutual friend, Clockwise, probably back in about 2017.
Yeah.
And was doing this same vibe. Like, he was doing his own thing. Stuff was upbeat, positive. So I was like, nah. My wife was actually like, you gotta do something with him. I was like, all right.
Yeah, when he hit me with the double words, hit me down. Wait, what? Brought me back to like a house party.
Yo,
that house type of vibe.
That's what he's about. We talked today, and honestly, this has been probably something that we've discussed maybe over the last couple months. It started back in September, and then really started picking up probably around about January.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, yeah, he didn't know any house producers.
Oh,
he's been wanting to do house, and like I saw, he's a dancer. He's like a breaker, like.
I think I know who that is.
Oh, you definitely know him.
I swear I know. That's why when you said things, why do I know this name?
Yep, he's been around. He does plays, musicals.
I know who that is. It's gonna come to me. Watch.
Another multi-instrumentalist. He can play guitar, trumpet. Good
wow. Dude. So I see. Now that's a new sound I've heard from you, from me. I don't know if you've made that type of sound before, but are you going in different directions now with music? What else is going to be as far as genres on your projects?
It's crazy. Like, I've always loved house music since I was a kid. Like, growing up, in the 90s, used to hear house on the radio all the time, especially like underground stations.
Oh, yeah.
I grew up in Waterbury, so we had a station out in New Haven, a college station out there. And they used to play stuff all the time, like late night.
Yeah.
Be by the radio station with your
those
tape.
DJs.
Yeah.
So mix it up.
Yeah. So I've always wanted to do it. And me and my boy, we used to talk about it all the time. This goes back almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
We were roommates for a while. I was living with him at his mom's house. We used to do music. We got, one day we're going to do an all house CD. So this time came up, the pandemic came up. We were both home. He's working from home. I'm working from home. It's like, I got some house stuff. I'm going to send you some music, and sent them about 5 songs. We did this whole project. I arranged everything in about a day. Honestly, and I don't know how much time I got, but quick story. I'll make it real quick. It's really sentimental.
Because I know y'all want to hear him talk, because y'all know once I get back on this microphone, I'm going crazy again. So go ahead, brother. Keep me at bay.
I'm going to do my best. But it's honestly, it goes back to maybe around August, July or August. I had a niece who had some medical issues. She wasn't even 1 yet.
Mm-hmm.
She was born with a deficiency, some type of protein deficiency.
Okay.
Very rare disease, super rare. And my mom, basically being like the kind of maternal, basically figurehead of the family, called the family together. Hey, let's pray. Mm-hmm. Had everybody praying for 24 hours. And I picked around about 3 o'clock. I said, I could do 3 o'clock, do an hour between 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
So woke up that morning, prayed, did my thing for that hour, stayed up for the rest of the day. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a whole album. I'm going to try to see how many songs I could do. And ended up with 5 songs probably by 10 o'clock that night.
Wow.
Sent them over to my boy. I was like, hey, man, I got these songs. Here's the scratch. So for these songs, I pretty much came up with the drums. So I arranged the whole song, just gave him just an idea for the keys. He did the keys, got a couple other musicians in there.
Yeah.
And honestly, the project was done. That was probably the quickest project I've ever done. I probably had it done by about within 3 months.
The fact that you said you did 5 songs in a matter of what, about 13 hours or something like that?
Yeah.
That's with words?
It was honestly words, concepts, everything.
Man. So again, how can people get in contact with you if they want some training?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Lawrence V. White. That's V as in Victor. Just spelled all the way out on all social media. Also online, so lawrencevwhite.com.
Mm-hmm. So check them out, y'all. Make sure you follow them. Anything else you want to share, man, go ahead and let Luz give a shout out to anybody you like. Because it's always, I try to give you a full hour anytime you come with your music and your platform and how people can get in contact with you. So whatever's on your heart right now, please go ahead and share that, my brother.
Thank you, man. Well, I mean, first I got to definitely give a shout out to my wife for sure. She's really she's really my support system.
Mm-hmm.
She's the first person who hears it and says, this is kind of whack or this is really great.
Okay.
So she's kind of like the white glove person. That's who I call her.
Yep.
So definitely shout out to her. Shout out to my family, the White family, Hartford, Philly. A lot of people should be listening. I posted it earlier. So the White family as well as the Hurdles. Outside of that, all the musicians who have been involved. We talked about Sonia. We talked about Tang Sauce, but there's a lot of musicians in the background who contributed to these songs. So can't do it without them. One of the major people with that last song is J.L. Seymour. He is a Britain native, also done a lot here in the Hartford community, especially with programs that help with like nonprofits and things like that. So definitely big shout out to him as well.
Ashe. All right, my brother. Well, it's good to have you here once again. Always a guest to this show.
Anytime.
Brother Lawrence White. All right, 89.9 QFM. And play some this background, and we're gonna get back into the music right here on 89.9 Qt FM.